This podcast was produced by Shaun, Weston Media.
From a dimly lit cupboard somewhere in England, two people chat about communications, and sometimes they chat about other things. Welcome to From the Comms Cupboard. So, I thought this episode was about being a risible leader, which nobody really wants, but it's actually about being a visible leader. How does one become a more visible leader? What is a visible leader? Is it someone who's not transparent?
Yeah, someone you can see.
Someone you can see. Well, actually, it's ironic, really, because isn't a more visible leader someone who is transparent? More transparent about their message and the business journey they want people to go on.
It absolutely is.
What an irony.
This is one of the big things that come up in employee surveys every single time, isn't it? Leader visibility. It's something that bothers people, and they really want to see this person more or see these people more.
So are we saying there are reasons why a leader sort of hides away, or
I don't think
it's not natural to them, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's a not natural thing. I don't think it's that they're intentionally trying to be invisible. I think they've just got lots of other things that they're doing as well, so it's part of their job. And maybe it doesn't come naturally to them.
We're giving credit to good leaders here, aren't we? You know, I read something recently that was quite good in it, and it said during the good times, an organisation can get away with having weak leadership, but during a crisis, weak leaders can't hide. So the world isn't run on good leaders, it's run on a balance. If they bring good and bad leaders, bring balance to the force. We've been watching Star Wars during coronavirus.
Yeah, too much Star Wars, I think.
Too much Star Wars. So if you have too many people in leadership positions, that visibility or that message can become convoluted, can't it?
Yeah, it can become watered down.
Yeah. So how do you stop that?
It's about having a plan. All comes back to planning, doesn't it? So you don't, is there such thing as too much communication? Being too communicative? And not being joined up enough?
Do you mean over communication is not a good thing?
Yeah, I guess so. I think if we've got good leaders or visible leaders, they'll be doing something that's natural for them. So it's something that fits their personality. So if you are naturally introverted as a leader, you're not necessarily going to want to be on a stage in front of a big group of people. And I think people would sense that as well. So you'd automatically be labelled as an invisible leader. You're not somebody who likes to be there.
But the stage can be many different things, can't it?
It can.
Because I don't like standing up in front of people. But
you like being behind a microphone.
I like being behind a microphone. But I also understand the different ways you can communicate. So a good leader has to understand the different ways. A good introverted leader can understand the different ways of getting their message across without having to platform or be in front of that mic or on that podium.
Yeah.
And that's all the different kinds of communication channels at your disposal.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're naturally not someone who wants to be in front of the camera or in front of a large group of people, then maybe social media is for you.
Or maybe social interaction as well. Do you know, I have on more than one occasion had a reason to share anecdotes about really bad leaders and bad bosses. But there have been some really good ones in my life as well. I know people scoff at these sort of things, but we had a boss who used to randomly rotate taking people for breakfast. And it would be 3 people, picked at random from different departments, and he'd take them out for breakfast. To me, it did 2 things. One, it broke down that sort of barrier.
Can't speak to the boss.
Wow, I can't speak to the boss, but here we are, he's taking me out for breakfast. And 2, I got to meet 2 other people from different departments I might never have met.
And 3, you got free breakfast.
And 3, I got pancakes, actually.
Oh, a very good breakfast.
I remember it well.
So is informality the important part then?
I think it's a part of being a visible leader is about not being so self-important that you think everyone... You're only as good as the people in your organisation. So if you have self-importance about your leadership, I don't think that does any good. I think that makes you an invisible leader, or people perceive you to be untouchable, unapproachable, invisible.
So another part of that then is about being authentic. If you're a leader who does have that self-importance vibe to you, then something quite formal might fit that personality. So standing up and giving a speech, or writing a letter, or something that's long, that might fit your style, and people might think you're authentic doing that. But if you prefer smaller groups, you're friendly, you're outgoing, you openly go and want to talk to people, that might feel authentic to take you out for breakfast.
Although, is it important for the visibility of a leader then, whether they're being authentic or not? Is it about how you're perceived?
I think the whole thing is about perception, isn't it? Isn't that visibility?
Mm.
Because you might be doing a great job of running a company. You might be bringing lots of money in. You might be delivering everything that you're meant to be doing.
But if no one knows you're doing it...
no one knows you're doing it, yeah.
Then what's their impression of the boss? Oh, he's never here. He's never in... He's always in his office, locks his door.
But are they happy because they get their bonus? Or, they've still got their job? There's a balance, isn't it?
There is a balance. But then the leader needs to know what that balance is and then strike it.
It's true. So how can you be a visible leader if you're all working from a distance? Does that make your job easier, or does it make your job harder?
I personally think it makes your job easier, because I think it gets you out of your comfort zone. And I think anyone who steps out of their comfort zone can suddenly find a world of new options and a world of new ways of doing things. And I think every leader should challenge themselves. I think everyone should challenge themselves, but leaders in particular, to become more visible. I mean, even outside of this coronavirus thing, you have people in different countries.
Yeah.
You've got to be visible for them too. And I think part of that is understanding all the different tools you can use. Not just communications tools like conferencing things, but I think being seen. So if you are a writer, then blog and let your employees see that you are a thought leader. Wow, my boss is quite important. He writes about these things. Take that selfie at the event that you go to with Bill Gates, so your employees can see, wow, there's our boss and he's with Bill Gates. I think that visibility is just as important as communicating with your employees. What do you think?
I agree. I think the thing that jumps into my mind is, and it comes back to being authentic, do you think people know when a leader's been told to do something opposed to it being natural? So having that selfie with someone at a conference, or blogging themselves, or creating a little video diary that's very polished and edited, does that create the wrong impression? Do you think that some of the best visibility is when something's really quick and natural and almost quick and dirty, that sort of
I agree,
off the cuff, opposed to planned and edited and pristine into the perfect vision of a leader?
I agree. We need more quick and dirty videos of Bill Gates.